So I've been watching this doctor, a licensed clinical psychologist on YouTube. Her name is Dr. Ramani. And she talks a lot about like narcissistic parents. And for the longest time, like, I couldn't figure out what the issue was between me and one of my parents. And now, after watching her video, like, I know exactly what the issue is. Like, you're a narcissist. And for me, like, I would always hear the word, but I wasn't ever sure, like, exactly what a narcissist was or how that really impacted me. Because for the most part, I always heard, I always received the narrative that, not having, or I always kind of thought, I don't know, something was wrong because my biological dad wasn't around, or, I kind of thought he didn't want me. I'm rolling up, so that's why I'm looking down. But anyway, the older I got, and then, like, once I had children, like, we had a conversation, and I was just like, oh, that's not what I thought. And that's not what the situation was. So, fast forward, 5 kids in the game, and I'm realizing that me and my mom just don't get along because she's a narcissist. And I mean, like, that's fine. Like, my grandma, I really feel like my grandma was a narcissist as well. But instead of, my mom being like, no, I'm going to make changes, she was just like, I'm leaving. I'll talk to my mom if I feel like it. If I don't feel like it, I won't talk to her. I had a wig on. Anyway, whatever. And so as a result of that, here I am, like, wait a minute, what the heck? Like, why do I have to go through all of this? Like, why? But it's because my parent is a narcissist. And I feel like most times a lot of people put emphasis on the dad not being there, and girls, be careful if you didn't have your dad, because then you might go looking for that love from other men. And that's what I thought at first, but that wasn't the case. Like, I realized, like, now or even just take, not even just saying every relationship, but like the 3 relationships that I have, like, with my children's fathers. Like, I'm with my boyfriend right now, and we have 3 children together, and then there's my daughter's dad and my oldest son's dad. And I'm realizing that my relationship with them was a reflection, or is a reflection, of the lack of relationship I had with my mom, or whatever, that little narcissistic cycle was, because I didn't really know what gaslighting was, or I kind of, figured she was manipulative or whatever, because, well, shit, let's face it, anytime, like, things are going her way, like, it's great. But the minute, she's upset with someone or whatever, then, like, I'm the scapegoat. And at this point, I just kind of feel like everybody has their own shadow work. Like, everybody has their own work to do. And if I'm doing the work at 31, you for damn sure should be doing the work at like 57 or however old you are. And the fact that you're not, and you're still so comfortable saying I'm the issue, all this stuff is what's wrong with me, lets me know that you are in fact a narcissist, and narcissists don't know how to accept responsibility for their actions. Narcissists don't see anything wrong with their actions. And yes, according to my aunts, my mom, I don't know, according to them, got it the worst growing up as far as whoopings or whatever. But I feel like and this is probably just, I don't know. I can't really judge because I wasn't there. I don't know her childhood. I only know what I see. And so at this point, it's like, it's a pattern. And the same way, you know, that she is with my grandma, like, unbeknownst to her, our relationship is turning into that. And for me, it's like, I really used to struggle a lot because I felt like, you know, this is my mom, this is the only one I have, like, you know, she is who she is, like, it just, I can deal with it. But I feel like now, I'm realizing I don't have to deal with it. If I can make changes to better myself, you can make changes to better yourself. And if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. But I don't have to sit around and accept, like, your crazy treatment. And then, of course, you know, like, people who I went to school with, you know, that I grew up with, like, I won't even say people who know me because a lot of people don't really, like, know me. But people, like, you know, have always seen me, like, in school getting picked up in nice cars, or, you know, I have a nice house, or I live in a nice neighborhood and all that shit. And it's like, okay, all that's fine and dandy, but that shit means nothing when you're being gaslighted by your parent, or your parent is just fucking batshit crazy and can't acknowledge that. And so basically just watching this doctor, like, the first time I seen her was on, like, Red Table Talk, and this was maybe like 2 days ago when they were talking about mom shaming. And for me, I was just like, oh my gosh. And I Googled today, like, what is a narcissist, and her videos popped up. And I think this happened because I've been praying nonstop, like, for clarity. Like, I got something on. I've been praying nonstop for clarity, for strength. Like, I've been asking God, you know, just like, help me see which way to go, help me, you know. And so many times I've always been like, you know, well, I'm gonna just not talk to her. But then here come other people like, no, well, you can't not talk to her, that's your mom, and blah blah blah, that's the only one you're ever gonna get, blah blah blah. And I'm like, exactly. I'm her only child. I'm the only child she's ever had. I'm the only child she's ever gonna have. So that shit goes two ways. But no, because people feel like, oh, well, parents took care of you, parents did this, this, and that. But you signed up to do that shit when you signed up to be a parent. Like, I'm never gonna make my kids feel like they owe me because I chose to have them and I chose to take care of them. Like, that's stupid. If you didn't want the responsibility of being a parent, like, don't have a child. And by all means, you know, like, I'm thankful because I'm here having this conversation. But all that other shit is out. So anyway, I've been struggling with, you know, how to let go of the anger, how to, sorry, I'm trying to fix my camera. How to just forgive, let go, move on. And I think because we're in such close proximity, like, currently I'm living in her house or whatever while I'm trying to do some other stuff, like, for my finances and everything. And to me, we had this big, let's just say this. We had this big blow up. I went out of town. Me and my boyfriend went out of town. And I had already asked my grandma, like, you know, if she could watch the kids or whatever, because I didn't want no weird shit going on. But then my mom comes with this whole grand plan and all this shit, and is like, okay, well, I'll take them over there on Saturday. Ends up not taking them over there. And then they go to my aunt's house for, like, her birthday party. My aunt and cousin, I guess, volunteered to keep my two youngest, and then my daughter's with her dad, and my oldest son was in Arizona with his dad. So fast forward, we get back Sunday. My daughter comes back Sunday. I think It may have been Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember. But my mom is like, okay, well, your aunt can just stay here, you know, and watch them since since they have school and I gotta go to work. And wait, why is this doing this? Did it die? What the heck? It did. Anyway, now it's upside down. Ugh. So anyway, sorry. So my aunt's like, you know, she'll watch them, whatever. And fast forward, we came back on Monday. So we come back Monday, my mom drops my aunt off and comes back talking about my daughter went in my aunt's purse and took her cigarettes out and flushed them down the toilet. Mind you, she didn't say nothing to me. She's talking to my daughter, like, why did you do this? So I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I'm trying to, you know, get to the bottom of the story or whatever. And long story short, we end up getting into it because she's telling me, like, well, you're not going to be whooping her and leaving welts and bruises and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, you're not finna make it seem like I just be abusing my kids and like I whoop them all the time, because I don't, even when I should. Secondly, you have a lot of room to talk when I was getting whoopings, like, up until I was like 16 or 17, like stripped naked, laying on a bed, like foot on my back, like getting whoopings with a belt. Mind you, it was regular teenage stuff. Like, I took my dad's car, ditched school with a boyfriend. I mean, to be honest, all the stuff that I really got in trouble for was really involving boyfriends. And once again, that's because now that I see it, it's like I wasn't getting love and validation and comfort and respect at home from my parents, so I was looking for it with other people. Now, fast forward, I'm like, wait a minute. That don't even sound right, because my daughter, she barely even flushed the toilet when she using the bathroom. So I'm like, you mean to tell me she went in there, took the cigarettes, and then just flushed them down the toilet? So then that leads my mom to saying, well, she's only doing what she sees and blah, blah, blah. And she sees you smoking. And I'm like, first of all, we're not finna do that, because I've been smoking her whole life, and she ain't never picked up a pack of Swishers. She ain't never picked up a blunt. She ain't never picked up a sack of weed. So that's not what we finna do, especially when you telling me she wait till I go out of town to do it. Sorry, it's comfortable looking right here, but the camera's right here. So then she's just like, well, you do whatever you want to do, but you ain't gonna be whooping her like this in my house. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So fast forward, I ended up talking to my granny about it, and I'm just like, I don't know, like, just mad because the lady's crazy. And my granny's like, well, she didn't take them cigarettes anyway. Kate, that's my aunt, she's like, she said I should took them just so your mama could buy her another pack. And I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. So then fast forward a couple of weeks go by, and I'm outside with my daughter, and hold on, let me take this thing out. And I'm outside with my daughter, and I'm just like, so what made you take the cigarettes that day? Like, why'd you go in TTK's purse and take the cigarettes? And she's like, well, I don't remember doing that. And I'm like, okay, so tell me what happened. And she's all nervous or whatever. I could tell, because she thinks I'm mad and she finna get in trouble. And I'm like, look, just tell me what happened. We just having a conversation. You're not in trouble. Like, just tell me what happened. And she's like, well, TTK told me I could get candy out of her purse. And so I was looking in her purse, but I couldn't get it because it was too deep. And I'm like, okay, so when you weren't able to find the candy, then what? She was like, that's it. And I'm like, well, TTK told Poo Poo that you took her cigarettes out of her purse and flushed them down the toilet, and Poo Poo had to buy her some more. And she's like, what? Like, with her little glasses and shit. And I'm like, oh. So So my granny was right. So she's like, no, I didn't take the cigarettes out of her purse. Like, I was just looking for the candy and it was too deep. And then that was that. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Like, why did you say you took them? Well, and then I'm like, why did you say you flushed them down the toilet if you didn't? She's like, well, I didn't want you and Poo-Poo to be mad at me. So I'm like, well, who told you to say you flushed them? Like, did somebody tell you to say you flushed them? And she's like, no. But Poo-Poo asked me if I flushed him down the toilet. And so I didn't want her to be mad. And I didn't want you to be mad. And immediately after hearing that, I just got so pissed off. Because I'm like... Oh, it's fucking windy outside. But I immediately just got pissed because I remember being a kid and my mom asking me if I did shit and asking me over and over and over and over. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, and I admit sometimes kids lie or whatever because they don't want to get in trouble. But it will legit be stuff I didn't do. And she'd be like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. And then finally I'm just like, okay, like I did it. Like, now can you stop talking to me? Can you whoop me? Can you just leave me the fuck alone? Like, whatever you're going to do. Because now I don't want to talk about it no more. Because obviously you don't want to hear the truth. You only want to hear what, whatever you want to hear. So that's basically how our relationship was growing up. Like, we wasn't ever, besties or best friends. Like, to be honest, I don't think I can remember a time, like, where, like, it was that typical mother-daughter relationship. Like, oh, we're, all that shit. It wasn't ever like that. So, fast forward, I'm watching this doctor, and I'm like, holy shit. My parent is a narcissist, and that's why I've been moving through life how I've been moving through life. Like, seeking outside approval or validation, and not from everybody, but like the people that I hold close to me. Like, whether you're close to me or not, it shouldn't matter what you think about me. And at this point, it really doesn't, because I feel like I've befriended people, I've had relationships with people, and instead of listening to my intuition, like, nah, that's not good, I didn't listen, because it's just like, well, they need help, and if I can do it, I'll help, because I would want somebody to do it for me. But that's never been, I don't know, I've never, like, received it in return, like, consistently, I'll say. And so, with that being said, it just kind of shed a new light, and I guess maybe I just needed to understand it or whatever before I could, like, finally just let it go and release the situation and go on about my business, because at this point I don't think a relationship is going to be possible, because there's no listening to reason, there's no accountability, there's no even acknowledging that anything wrong was ever done. And I feel like, all that's okay. People deal with stuff how they deal with stuff, but I don't have to subject myself to it. And for me, like, I'm not gonna subject myself to it. I'm not gonna subject my kids to it. And I also just don't want to see, I don't want my kids to see me fighting with my mom and then they think, like, it's okay. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like in some instances, like, I know deep down right is right and wrong is wrong. And because of the kind of person that I am, like, to a fault, I'm just going to extend that courtesy. I'm going to extend that respect. And because of that, like, I don't want my kids to see me, like, disrespecting my mom or saying anything, like, foul or hurtful, like, about her. I don't want that for my kids. Like, I don't want them to think it's okay. I don't want them to think that it's something you can do, even if you're mad. And so with that being said, it really, I don't know, like, it kind of hurts because, you know, you want to have your mom in your life, especially like when you're having children. And then when you, like, I see like other people and their relationship with their mom, and it just, like, it really sucks. But I feel like at the end of the day, I'm accountable for my children and what my children do. And I'm also accountable for myself and what I do. And so, like, I have to put what's best for me first. I have to put what's best for my children first. What the heck? It look like it's mushrooms growing in the grass. Or is these just leaves? Oh, no, it's just leaves. But anyway, like, I have to put our well-being first, because that's my priority, like, as their mom. That's my job as their mom. And I owe it to myself, you know, like. And then not only that, like, I don't want to not deal with this shit or not get over it, and then my kids be 30 something trying to figure out, well, why doesn't it work, or why is it so difficult, and or, you know, just to be letting a lot of people get close to them and have access to them who don't really deserve it, because you don't know your worth. You weren't, you know, respected as a child. And I don't mean like, well, I mean respected, like, because children are people too. Children have feelings and all that shit. So, you know, and then to be like gaslighted and manipulated, like, and then you're trying to work through that, and even like thinking it's okay because it's your parent, like the one person, you know, who's supposed to love you and shit. Like, I don't want them having to go through that and try to unpack all that, because it's not fun. And even just like, I mean, of course, like, life happens or whatever, and you got to go through whatever you got to go through. But I don't know. That's just one thing I don't wish for my kids. Like, I want them to know, like, you're bomb. You're bombing. Like, you're an awesome human being. Nobody else is ever going to be like you. And not have to learn that later in life. Like, I don't want them to have to be trying to figure it out and all that shit. Because most of these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about anyway. And then be trying to tell you about your business and tell you about your life. But I don't know. I think this video was a way of me kind of coming to grips and coming to terms with with what I need to do in order to have the kind of life that I want to have. And I don't know, I really can't continue to put other people's feelings before mine, because, I mean, that's just not how, I don't know, I guess some people have no problem putting their feelings first and putting what they want above everybody else, but that's always been an issue for me. I feel like, well, shit, I'm not an asshole. So, like, I don't know. But I just gotta do, you know, what's best for me and do what's best for my family, even if that means, like, having no relationship. But then it also means, you know, like, not being manipulated by the fact that there's no relationship, because what would you expect? Like, just constant degrading, demeaning, belittling, like, just angry. And I'm not even going to say angry for no reason, because you probably have a lot of shit to be angry about in your life, but you got to deal with it. You have to take those steps to actually do the work, and no, it's not easy.
Hey, Mom.
Hey. Yes.
Just saying
Hi. Like, you have to do the work. And shit, I feel like if I can do the work at 32, working full time as well, like, and I got a whole squad over here, like, you could do the work. 52, 50, however, I don't know how old she is. 56, one child, grown as fuck, like, And I'm not even living here for free. I can understand, like, if whatever. But it just really sucks because I feel like this is the part in the movie where people is like, they don't even know what they're doing. Like, that person's gonna be gone for good. Like, this is that point, and it's just like, when it seems or comes off as it, well, shit, I can't even say that. And see, me saying when it seems or comes off, that's still me trying to give the benefit of the doubt or not paint a picture of how it really is. Like, when you basically said, you don't care, I don't exist, like, I can't really argue with that. And then when your actions reinforce that, you know. Hi. Not right now, because I'm smoking. Okay. Like, that shit blows my mind. It's a hummingbird. I read somewhere when you see those, it means good luck and changes. And I need both. But I don't know. I just know I'm not gonna feel guilty about doing what's best for my family and protecting myself and protecting my family. Like, and I'm not gonna be manipulated, you know, to be doing other stuff other people want me to do. Like, you had your whole fucking life to live your life how you want it, and you chose, you continue to choose. Like, you don't get to dictate my life or my kids' life, whether we're under your roof or not. Like, people are people. So, and now it's just like, I'm not trying to be under your roof. Like, if I can help it, like, once we leave, like, we're gone for good. Like, we're gone. This ain't even the house we go to for Thanksgiving and all that shit. So, like we're gone. And I don't know. I just think it's crazy. And I really know, like, I really do just think it's crazy because, like, the outside world, like, sees one person, but it's a whole different thing behind closed doors, you know. And it just really sucks because I be seeing so many people like, oh my god, you're so wonderful, you're the best, you know. I'm like, bro. But I mean, I guess it's like Facebook and shit. That's what social media is. Like, people don't really put the bad shit on there. But I don't know. Actually, I do know. And fucking, I guess I made this video to be like, now you gotta do it. But I ain't posted yet. I'm gonna post it though. So I guess me posting it is just like, this is what you said. You put it out there in the universe. Like, you put it out there. So, now what? But, I don't know. It's a nice little chat. It's nice outside. All this wildlife.